I had been a senior forensic accountant and systems architect for 20 years. My job is boring to most people. I look for patterns in numbers. For the last 3 years, I worked for a mid-sized logistics firm, reporting to a man named Marcus. Marcus was the kind of boss who wore Italian suits he couldn't afford and used buzzwords he didn't understand. He was charming, though, and had the ear of the CEO. I had spent the last 18 months building Project Argus. It was an automated auditing system designed to optimize supply chains. It was my baby. I wrote every line of code, designed every algorithm, and spent weekends testing it. Marcus knew this would be the golden ticket for the company's IPO. He promised me a promotion to CTO and substantial stock options once we launched. 2 days before the scheduled launch, Marcus called me into his office. He wasn't smiling. The HR director was there, looking uncomfortable. "We're letting you go, David," Marcus said, not even looking me in the eye. He pretended to read a file on his desk. "Budget cuts, restructuring, you know how it is." I was stunned. "But Argus launches on Friday. You can't run it without me. I haven't handed over the encryption keys or the admin protocols." Marcus smirked then, a greasy, triumphant look. "Oh, I think we'll manage. I've been mirroring your workstation for months. I have the source code. I submitted it to the board this morning as my own work. They were very impressed with my ingenuity. Security will escort you out." He had stolen everything. My work, my promotion, my future. He thought he had won because he had the files. But Marcus made a fatal error. He didn't understand what he had stolen. He saw a supply chain optimizer. He didn't know that my background was in forensic accounting. I didn't beg. I didn't scream. I signed the severance papers, took my box of personal items, and walked out. As I sat in my car, I didn't cry. I opened my laptop and deactivated the sandbox mode on my home server. You see, Argus wasn't just an optimizer. I had built it to detect anomalies. During my testing, I had found something disturbing in the company's legacy data: massive embezzlement disguised as shipping losses. I had originally programmed Argus to flag these anomalies to the user for review. But since Marcus claimed he wrote the code, and since Marcus was now the sole administrator, I decided to let Argus do exactly what it was designed to do, but with a twist. I sent a remote command to the system, a deadman switch I had embedded deep in the kernel. It wasn't a virus. It was a feature unlock. I enabled automatic regulatory reporting. Friday came. The launch was a black tie event. I watched the live stream from my couch with a glass of scotch. Marcus was on stage, basking in the applause, claiming he had spent sleepless nights coding this masterpiece. He pressed the big red button to activate Argus. The system went live. It immediately processed 10 years of data in seconds. Usually, an internal audit tool sends a report to the internal server. But because I had enabled the regulatory reporting feature, Argus didn't just generate a PDF. It automatically packaged the evidence of the embezzlement, millions of dollars siphoned into shell companies owned by the CEO and, surprise, surprise, Marcus himself. Then Argus did what it was told. It emailed the entire dossier directly to the SEC, the IRS, and the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. Because Marcus had publicly and legally claimed sole authorship of the code and the system's operation, he couldn't claim it was a glitch. He had told the board on record, "I control every aspect of this system." The best part? The system was designed to be helpful. On the giant screen behind Marcus, instead of showing efficiency graphs, Argus displayed a bright green progress bar. "Submitting evidence to federal authorities, 100% complete. Thank you for being compliant." The room went silent. Marcus turned pale. The CEO dropped his champagne glass. The police didn't arrive immediately, but the fallout was swift. By Monday, the assets were frozen. By Wednesday, Marcus was arrested. In his interrogation, he tried to blame me, but the investigators looked at the logs. They saw that David had been terminated and locked out days prior. They saw Marcus's login credentials authorizing the system launch. They saw his signature on the affidavit claiming the software was his intellectual property. He stole the credit, so he had to take the credit for the outcome. He wanted to be the architect of the system. Instead, he became the architect of his own prison sentence.